I am officially 6 weeks post-op, which feels like another milestone. Every small step counts in this recovery because, as I am experiencing firsthand, it is a long recovery. The last 2 weeks have been pretty uneventful. The 3 most notable things so far have been, I've been noticing a lot of stitches spitting, which means that I've read around the 4 to 6 week mark, although I'm sure it can happen at any time. The stitches that the body is trying to reject instead of absorb start to try to poke out and get out. Even though technically stitches are absorbable, the body doesn't always want to keep them in. And so they will try to poke out. And if they poke out, you can just tweeze them out, no problem. But what's been happening with me is that some places I can tell it's trying to poke out, but it just isn't able to come out. It's stuck for whatever reason. And that has been causing a lot of irritation right under the skin, right near my incision line in certain places. I have a few spots that are maybe the size of a pea that have been irritated enough that the incision has opened a little bit, but I haven't been able to find the stitch that is irritating it. And so they're kind of just perpetually open, except I think over time they will hopefully just heal however they heal. And hopefully that doesn't leave a worse scar, but whatever. Honestly, I am not one of those people that is trying to have the most perfect scars. If I can have them, great, but that was not my priority. Aesthetics is great, but what was most important to me was the comfort of my physical body with the healing of the diastasis recti and lifting everything up and just getting us back to baseline. So whatever, if I have some battle wounds, if I have some obvious scars, not obvious scars, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. But it is a priority that I don't get an infection, so I have been washing with dial soap every single night when I shower. I just wash it. I put bacitracin on it. I'll either cover it or let it kind of stay open to the air for a while. And so far, nothing has gotten worse. If anything, it's gotten a little bit better, but it's really nothing has been an issue that I've needed to see a doctor or anything about. I just send photos to my doctor to keep him updated, and he's not worried about it either. The second thing that's been going on just recently, the last couple days, is a pretty painful spot on my belly, which I will show you in just a minute. I think it has come from me just pushing my body a little too hard or allowing my body to be pushed a little harder than I should be. At 6 weeks, I'm getting really sick of babying it, and so I think I just did a little too much. And my theory is that I might have just torn something, like when you work out really hard and you tear a muscle, but I think I might have torn something not to open my diastasis recti back up, but just, a little part of my muscle might have torn or the stitches might have torn a little bit. But I sent pictures to my surgeon and again, he wasn't worried about it. So I'm just trying to be extra cautious the next few days and let my body rest. It is so hard because I want to be doing things. What I did a few days ago, I was rearranging my living room and my mudroom and I was cleaning. And so I was doing a lot of bending down. I was lifting some things, maybe a little bit heavier than they should have been. I don't know. I also pushed a bookshelf that was relatively heavy, but I was trying to be really thoughtful about my body and who knows? Honestly, I don't know. I have 3 kids that I'm tending to a lot, so it's hard to tell what I did and when I did it or if it was anything I actually did. So this is my 6-week body. Hasn't changed a whole lot from the last few weeks, but right about here, yeah, it's right there. It's not that big. It's just the size of maybe a quarter and it just hurts. But it's right near my belly button. So I feel like maybe the way that everything was sewn, he probably did some good stitching around here. And maybe I just yanked a stitch in there. Honestly, I don't know. But there's no obvious, that's bulging a little bit, but that's not a hernia or anything. That's just, I think it's just swollen there. That's just my muscles. So, since I know everybody's curious, that's why you're here. Let's see. So here's my incision. I've been leaving it the last probably, week or so. I do put my scar tape on, but I also have been taking it off. So usually during the day, I wear the scar tape. Especially when I'm doing something and I'm being a little more active, I'm moving around, I want that scar tape to just protect my incision, because otherwise the faja and the foams and everything can kind of rub on it, and I'm just really trying to take care of it, but it's looking really good. And then at night, I try to give it some air. I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm just kind of winging it and listening to my gut, which is, I've been putting Aquaphor on it every night, and just to keep that moisture. But I don't know if you guys remember, but in the beginning, this was super wrinkled, and it's really starting to relax. It's a little wrinkled still, but it's not super obvious. And again, I don't honestly care. Here is where my drain was. That is still healing. That's been the hardest one, honestly, to heal, but it's slowly getting better. I actually took a video a few days ago. I pulled out a little stitch. So if I have the video still, I will add that in right here, just so you can see, because it's fascinating. So, fun story. This is where my drain was. This is my drain site, and it's taken forever to heal. This is finally almost healed, but last night I noticed right here it was this little like blood blister, and so I squeezed it, and it was the weirdest thing. I've never seen this before. Obviously it's bubbling up blood, but then watch. Normally you'd be able to wipe that away, but it's like, ready? It sucks it back in. It must be a little tunnel in there, because I would try to like squeeze it and then go to wipe it away, and before I could, so annoying. But anyway, so it's been about 24 hours since I noticed it. I've squeezed it maybe like 4 or 5 times and just, wiped away the blood, just kind of try to clear it out a little bit. And I was just squeezing it, and lo and behold, this just came out. This is the knot, one of the knots from the end of my my stitches. So anyway, it's supposed to dissolve, and obviously it did come off from whatever stitch it was connected to inside, but yeah. So anyway, there's the end of one of my stitches. Actually, that was driving me crazy too. It had burrowed its way down, I guess, and it finally came out. So hopefully that means that this is finally going to heal, because there's nothing in there bothering it. Woo-hoo. But yeah, this is it. And as you can see, totally relaxed right now. Not flexing or anything. I know before surgery, I was just so curious when I saw people posting pictures, like, are you relaxed? Are you flexing? This is me totally relaxed, and it's pretty darn flat, I must say. This is from my foam. I just took off my faja, so this is just the indent from my foam. All these indents are from my foam, because I basically wear one foam, so it kind of makes like a weird ripple thing. So that's actually not normally there. This is me like flexing. Okay, ready? So that's me flexing, and okay, flexing, relaxed. Okay, so it does go out a little bit, but compared to what it was, you guys, 10 out of 10. I love it. Dr. Giancarlo Makeover in Boca Raton, 10 out of 10 recommend. He is amazing. His staff has been wonderful. My coordinator, Madeline, she's the one that scheduled everything. She's the one that I talk to if I have any issues. I just text her, email her. She has been absolutely a godsend. This is a serious mental game. It's not just physical, it's a mental game, the whole healing process. And having somebody that's your support system in the surgeon's office and can talk to him anytime you want, any issues that you're having. It is so important to have that support after surgery, especially if you're traveling, because you do not want to leave your surgeon's office and then never have contact with him again. So anyway, the third big thing is that my seromas have not come back. So there's no rippling. I mean, nothing. I am so happy because that was a real stress for me, but that is gone. So I just have regular swelling. It's actually looking okay right now, but sometimes towards the end of the day, it swells out more, like right through here. It just kind of like bubbles out a little bit, which obviously it's like not very comfortable and annoying, but it's manageable. Honestly, I think my diet isn't the best. I have more sodium than I probably should be, but I just love salty things. So even though I'm trying to cut back, I'm not perfect by any means. So another thing that I've had multiple people ask me about is, where am I numb on my belly? Because this 100% takes a lot of sensation away. And before surgery, I was honestly really curious about this too. So I had a friend who had surgery about 18 months before me answer this question for me. And this is the way she showed me, and I loved it. So I'm going to do it too, because I think it was really fascinating seeing her do it in real time. So I'm going to show you where I can feel and where I can't feel, just so you get a visual of how much, everybody's body is different, but how much sensation can be taken away after surgery. So I can feel all this. I can feel it. 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 Okay, this is where it's gone. I'm like trying to close my eyes so I can actually, okay, here it is. It's back. Okay, so from here to here-ish, it's all numb, either 100% numb or like mostly numb. Like right towards the edge, it starts to kind of, it's like half numb. That goes up. That goes up. Like that's all numb. I can feel this. I can feel all that. Here's my incision, just if you're curious. It's definitely still healing. It's a little bit raw feeling. I mean, it's not open in any way, but it's just sore and raw. Okay, so then moving down, I can feel this, I can feel all that. Here, there's where the numbness hits. This is like partially numb, but this is like numb. Numb, 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 numb. It's, ooh. Okay, here's where it's totally back, but there is a little gap where it's like I can kind of feel it, but I kind of can't feel it. I can feel all this. Okay, numb, numb. Oh my God, so numb, so numb, so numb. Like literally you could touch me here. If you push, I can kind of feel like below the surface, but my skin is totally numb. Numb, numb, numb. All this is numb, numb, numb. My incision, numb, numb. I can feel this. The actual incision itself. Actually, no, I can feel all that. I can feel the end. This is numb. The incision is numb, but everything else I can feel. So yeah, it's kind of like a T. It's kind of like, or an upside down T. It's like all this, and then all of this, and it kind of tapers. And I can feel everything else. Another huge numb spot that is from the drain. This is all numb. Okay, I can feel this. 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 I cannot feel any of this. I can't feel any of this. Yeah, so it's like this like circle, which is annoying, but whatever. Honestly, the numbness is annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. When I lean up, I just leaned up against the sink without my faja on. The faja kind of protects against that numbness, which helps. But when you have nothing on except your like clothes or your shirt or whatever, like when I leaned up against the sink, it felt weird, but it's not the end of the world, you guys. It is so worth it to have the repair. Because if you're like me and you had a legitimate diastasis recti gap separation, just having it all back together, I feel whole again. I knew it was an issue. Obviously, that's the reason I had this surgery. But I didn't fully grasp how big of an issue it was until I had it sewn back together. And now, just to engage my abs, just to go like this, which doesn't look like much right now, but just to engage my abs, just to like sit up, like do a sit up. Like not sit up, like do an exercise sit up, but just like sit up out of bed or sit up off the couch. I did not realize how much work it takes just to do basic things like sitting up when it takes more effort to get your gapped muscles together in order to do that motion, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain, but I can really feel the difference. And I'm telling you, all of the numbness, all of the pain, all of the anxiety, all of the incision issues, which I've not had a lot of, but it is so worth all of it just to have that repaired again. And then obviously, you know, looking at myself, that has been really nice too, but it was not the reason I did this. It was just the secondary bonus factor of doing this. And yeah, so this is it. 6-week update. I don't have a lot of new information, but I know that people are interested. I know that I was interested in other people's journeys. I've had a lot of people that are going to be having surgery in the future that have been messaging me and just checking in, seeing how I'm doing. So here's an update for you. And I'll probably update you again at 2 months, so 8 weeks post-op. And hopefully things will be even better.